What does it mean when Stripe identifies you as a high-risk merchant, and what implications does that have for your business? My name is Maria Sparagas. I am the founder of DirectPayNet, and I help thousands of 7- and 8-figure merchants with their payment processing and to make sure that it doesn't become a bottleneck in their business. Today, I want to talk to you about what a Stripe high-risk merchant is and to be on the lookout for different signs from Stripe that things may not be going well with your payment processing with them. First of all, it's important to understand what is Stripe as a payment service provider and what other options are out there. So we have basically two categories of options. One of them is payment aggregators, or PSPs. We call them payment service providers. And what these services do is essentially they have an agreement with the bank where they actually sublet pieces of their account to merchants like you so that you can run transactions online and collect sales. So the reason that it's so quick and easy to set up with Stripe is because they ultimately already have that relationship with a bank, and you're just signing up very quickly to sublet a piece of their account. Now, obviously, there's a lot more complexity to this and licenses and so forth, but that's kind of the very quick version of what Stripe is versus a merchant account. So you've probably heard what a merchant account is if you're selling anything online. You're probably wondering, do I need a merchant account? You don't need a merchant account right away. The most important thing to do when you start your business is to make sales and really focus on dialing it in with your traffic and your ads and so forth. But once you reach about $25,000 or $30,000 per month in sales, that's the time you need to start looking at scaling to the next level. If you're using a provider like Stripe, it could cause some problems later on in your business, especially if they've categorized your business as a high-risk business. Now, if you look at Stripe's terms and conditions, pretty much 8 out of 10 businesses, online businesses, would qualify as a high-risk business. They do that on purpose. So if ever they want to close your account down, they'll say, hey, in our terms and conditions, this business is considered high risk and you didn't let us know and we can shut you down. So they're kind of covering for themselves in case they want to make any changes or shut your account down. First of all, it is important to look at the Stripe restricted business list and see if your business is listed there. If your business is listed there and you are making over $25,000 per month, or you have very high tickets. When I say high tickets, over $1,000 or more would be considered a high ticket in Stripe's terms. Then you want to start looking for a merchant account. And a merchant account is a little bit different than Stripe in the sense of that you make the relationship directly with the bank. So providers like my company, DirectPayNet, help merchants get merchant accounts so they don't get shut down by Stripe and they have an alternate solution or a backup solution. So like I've said many, many times before on my channel, you have backup servers, backup employees, backup processes for pretty much every aspect of your business. One important thing to have a backup of is a payment processing solution. So you accept credit cards. That is the lifeblood of your business. If you have an online business, it is important to have a backup to whichever provider that you're using. Now you're probably wondering, okay, well, what now? I am a high-risk merchant. I am doing over $25,000 per month. Will anybody want to work with me? The answer is yes. I mean, there are specialists in high-risk merchant accounts. For example, my company, DirectPayNet, we focus really on high-risk merchants. And you just have to make sure that you find the right partner and that you are straightforward with that partner as to what you're selling and what you're doing. There is a payment processor that's willing to support any type of business. So there's payment processors that support crypto businesses, adult businesses, gaming, gambling, really anything. As long as you're doing something legal, there is a payment processor out there that can support your business. It's just a matter of being straightforward and telling them what you're doing. The last thing you want to do is kind of hide some facts or not really give your payment processor the full picture, and you're running your business. A couple of months later, you get shut down because they find out, certain things about your business that you weren't straightforward about. So make sure that you have your website, your accurate website, and you present all the facts of how you're selling, your price points, if you have any trial options and so forth. And you will find somebody who's willing to support your business. And keep in mind, it's not every high-risk payment processor that works in every niche. So it may be a little bit difficult, but definitely, you can start researching. And when you do work with somebody, if they reject your business, you can always ask. For example, we have clients at DirectPayNet here that work in verticals that we can't support. They'll straight up just ask us, hey, if you can't support this business, can you tell me somebody who can? So somebody in my team will, gladly tell you if we can't support you, where you can go. Now, another thing to look out for so you don't waste your time is most payment processors and most merchant account providers have an industries list literally on their website. So you go onto the website and you kind of click through a couple of places and they'll say, these are the industries that we work with. So that way you don't waste your time. And you can also do just a quick inquiry and say, hey, I am selling this or that. And then they'll let you know if they support that type of business. Now, as with everything in banking, when you hear the words high risk, you're probably thinking, I am going to be paying through the nose for this. This is going to cost my business so much money. Well, that isn't always the case. It can be in certain situations, but I'm going to explain a little bit about how merchant account providers charge for their services versus Stripe and so forth. So number one, Stripe is charging just a flat fee of 2.9% plus 30 cents a transaction. And there are situations, for example, if you accept foreign cards or telephone payments, that can go up 1%. So there's some merchants who are paying actually closer to 4% with Stripe. So that fee can actually be less depending on your business vertical. For example, when some high-risk merchants come to Direct PayNet and they tell me about their business and they send me their processing history, if the chargeback numbers and the disputes are low, sometimes we're able to beat what Stripe is offering. So don't worry about being tagged as high risk, being synonymous with paying very, very high fees. There are some situations that can warrant higher fees. For example, if you have a very high chargeback rate or if you have a free trial type business, then the rates can get a little bit higher. But a lot of high risk businesses, for example, subscription businesses, supplement businesses, coaching businesses, and so forth, these types of businesses are not necessarily high risk in the sense of chargeback risk. So you may actually get a better price working with your own merchant account provider than working with somebody like Stripe. So if you do have high chargebacks and you are in a very risky vertical, you have to keep in mind that you may pay a little bit more, but that will come with extra security, knowing that you're working with a payment processor that understands your business, is supporting your business, and you won't get a very bad surprise in a couple of months when they do a review of your account and so forth. So in terms of rates and fees, you may be paying less than Stripe, even though you are considered a high risk merchant. So don't be surprised if you contact a provider and you actually end up getting a better deal than what you were paying with Stripe. Now, the question comes back to me often, merchants are like, well, Stripe hasn't shut me down yet. Yes, I am on their restricted list and we are scaling over 25,000 a month, or I have high tickets, but Stripe hasn't really complained. So what do you think I should do? Should I just continue using Stripe? My answer would be, it really all depends. If there has been no red flags with Stripe, they have not put any notices in your account, then yes, I would say continue using Stripe, but get a backup solution and put at least 20 to 25% of your volume in that backup solution. So if anything happens with Stripe, you're quickly able to just move your processes over onto the new solution that you have. Now, if you have gotten a warning from Stripe, or if there's an alert on your account saying that they need more information, they need to verify your ID, they need to verify different things on your account, that should be a big red flag for you. That should, get you moving as quickly as possible to get a merchant account. And obviously at that point, if you do have those red flags, you want to move more of your volume to your merchant account versus stay onto Stripe. So it is very important, as I mentioned earlier, to really get a backup solution, because you just never know when things can go down, things can happen, and so forth. So what is the most important is, if you are scaling your business, you need to have a backup in place, and you need to make sure that you have a partner that understands your business and really wants to work with you so you can move forward and not worry about your payment processing. One of the most important things that I hear from merchants that I work with is they tell me, I just don't want to have to deal with payment processing. So it is unfortunately something that as you're scaling, you have to pay more and more attention to. But if you are working with the correct partner and it is an industry that the partner or the payment processor supports, then you have less to worry about and you can just continue scaling and leave the payment processing on to a trusted source. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you have any questions or you're wondering whether you should get a backup for your Stripe account, or if you've gotten any warnings from Stripe, feel free to contact me at the information below and I would be happy to help you. And as usual, if you like this episode, don't forget to press like and smash that subscribe button for more amazing content.